supermarkets have been stormed. Hydroalcoholic gels and protective masks disappearing from shelves. As this week marks World Recycling Day, the question arises, what to do with these products once they are used?
I don't know what will happen to the masks afterwards. I don't really know where to throw them. I throw them in the basic trash, but maybe we can recycle it, like plastic.
I think we can. No, it's possible. I know. I think we can to recycle.
This container is made of plastic, so it is recyclable. It must be thrown away in the receptacles provided for plastic packaging. In Israel, these garbage cans are orange. For gloves, which are not plastic but kind of latex, they can only be used once. All the products that can be used only once, you can't recycle them. There's nothing to do to recycle them, and it's the same for protective masks. You can't recycle them. The coronavirus is an epidemic. It's real. People use these to protect themselves, but unfortunately, it's not recyclable.
While it would be impossible to recycle masks and protective gloves, are there alternatives which can still protect the environment?
To fight this kind of virus, for the moment, I have not been aware of similar products made of other materials. We can't replace them, apart from hydroalcoholic gel. If you're at home, it's just as good or even better to use a soap. If you're outside, then yes, it is very good to have a small bottle of hydroalcoholic gel on you.
But then, what will happen to the millions of masks and gloves sold and thrown away every day? The question is open, and the world will have to find an answer.
Has the virus vaccine? It was developed at unprecedented speed. The researchers built on work made years before it curbed SARS and MERS, other deadly coronavirus strains. Now 45 people in Seattle, Washington are enrolled in the first trial. The first 4 got their shots on Monday and another 4 Tuesday.
Really interesting being kind of on the forefront of this. I really hope that it works and it's able to be used publicly and become widely available for everyone. You know, there's obviously a certain amount of nerves associated with it, you know, as any experimental trial is going to be.
It requires 2 vaccines 28 days apart, and researchers will follow the participants for a year, but they expect to see results within weeks. If the drug appears safe, parent company Moderna will ask the FDA to move to phase 2 trials immediately, even before phase 1 trials are complete. Despite the risks, participants seem glad to pave the way.
Repairable.
Wow, that is rather accurate. It's better than any dollars or euros or anything else that you can be trading. People are getting very creative and going to their supermarkets where they're performing in front of the empty toilet paper rolls. Someone, Bonnie Violin Queen, posted this video to Instagram.
Now I instantly... People are so creative. I would never have thought of coming up with that.
This one is new or old or if it's resurfaced, but it's hysterical and it fits in with the times. Very creative, decided to have a little party by himself.
Yes, I love this one.
Thank you for coming, Chin Chin. Chin Chin. Chin Chin. Thank you, Chin Chin, guys. Chin Chin. Chin Chin.
I feel like that's me on my normal everyday life. That one there.
I didn't want to say anything on air, but I can totally relate to this guy.
I feel like that's just, I'm quarantining myself every single day. Israelis took to their balconies to cheer and pay respect for the medical workers who in Israel have been tirelessly working around the clock in the face of the potentially deadly coronavirus. Thursday night, the whole country simultaneously stopped in their tracks and gave a 2-minute round of applause to those who deserve it.
It's heartwarming, and a return for all we have been giving. We stay here late, full crews of doctors, nurses, lab techs, logistic teams. to prepare for what would come. Our families suffer these days. They understand and empathize with the situation, and what we see up there is really heartwarming.
And Israelis aren't the only ones trying to lift the spirits. With many places on lockdown, it's a tough time for much of the world. But as our Erica Jackson shows us, even in times that seem uncertain, we may find a way to support each other stronger than ever.
In the darkness of coronavirus, a round of applause. Despite a virtual lockdown in France, residents showed solidarity to support stepping up, cheering healthcare workers for a good cause. But acts of care aren't only for those on the front lines. Amid a national quarantine in Barcelona, a saxophone player creates sweet sounds from his instrument, showing that spirits can be lifted even in turbulent times. And despite a coronavirus quarantine in Lebanon, celebrations didn't fade, as parents and neighbors gave a 25-year-old the ultimate birthday serenade. And with a special video call from her family, another birthday celebration for a 97-year-old grandmother of 5. Where in her assisted living facility in Tel Aviv, she was surrounded by song and something sweet to eat, showing that even amid coronavirus, when people are there to support each other, together, spirits can't be beat.
In Italy, silence reigns in the empty corridors of the Uffizi Gallery in Florence, with only the marble faces of the statues looking at each other. But technology rushed the age of culture, with the museum opening a Facebook channel on which art lovers from around every corner of the planet could enjoy a visit, safe from contagion. The Uffizi Gallery, at the time of coronavirus, has turned into a digital
We decided to open it in another form, in a digital form. We were already with great success on 2 important social channels, Twitter and Instagram. Now we have to decide to implement our offer to ensure our physical presence in the homes of Italians and of all the visitors in the world who at this moment cannot enter the gallery.
Con questa iniziativa abbiamo deciso di creare delle
With this initiative, we decided to create art hills to allow people who can no longer physically visit the museum to admire the masterpieces and have a window to appreciate priceless works that we keep here at the Uffizi Gallery.
possiamo chiamarla così.
And because of the coronavirus pandemic, some animal rescues have had to shut down and are looking for help to take care of animals that have no home. But saying that without guests in the building, caretakers are getting creative in how they can provide enrichment to animals, introducing new experiences, activities, foods, and more to keep them active and encourage them to explore, problem solve, and express their natural behaviours. And after seeing these penguins on their big day out, Chicago's Field Museum's resident dinosaur, Sue the T-Rex, decided to get in on the fun. Sue went on her own field trip and decided to pay the penguins at its home a little visit too. When reached for comment, Sue, who is known for its witty Twitter presence, replied, "This is the moment I have been waiting for. The museum is mine to roam. The theropod revolution has begun."
top stories making news this hour. We start here in Israel, and the death toll from the coronavirus pandemic has risen to 10 in this country. Confirmation coming through on Friday morning that a 93-year-old man and a 76-year-old woman have both passed away. They both had pre-existing illnesses. The number of people infected with COVID-19 in the country is now at 3,035. 49 people are in serious condition. Government tightening lockdown rules earlier in the week, warning that offenders could be fined or face up to 6 months behind bars. In another new development, 500 Israeli soldiers will be helping police in the fight against the coronavirus, making sure that citizens stick to the latest restrictions. Meanwhile, America now is confirming more cases of COVID-19 than any other country, with more than 85,500 positive tests. The latest figures from Johns Hopkins University show the U.S. has overtaken China and Italy, but with almost 1,300 COVID-19 related fatalities, the U.S. death toll is well behind China, with more than 3,000 there, and Italy with more than 8,200 deaths. The grim milestone coming as President Donald Trump predicts the nation will get back to work pretty quickly. He says the numbers are a tribute to the amount of testing they're doing.
Because of the sacrifices of our great doctors and nurses and healthcare professionals, the brilliance of our scientists and researchers, and the goodness and generosity of our people, I know that we will achieve victory and quickly return to the path of exceptional health, safety, and prosperity for all of our citizens. We have to get back to work. Our people want to work. They want to go back. They have to go back. And we're going to be talking about dates. We're going to be talking with a lot of great professionals. But this is a country that was built on getting it done. And our people want to go back to work.
The world in Israel, and the country looks set to get a new government soon. Details are still being finalized. In a shock move on Thursday, Benny Gantz was voted in as Israel's new parliament speaker. The surprise 11th hour twist likely paving the way. Settlers hurling 3 Molotov cocktails at a border police vehicle just outside the Flashpoint Yitzhar Jewish settlement. Police say no one was injured. The vehicle was damaged. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu condemning the attack, saying it's a crime anytime, but it's even worse now when security forces are helping protect people during the corona crisis. Army Chief of Staff Aviv Kochavi also slamming the perpetrators, saying throwing firebombs at security forces who are protecting citizens is a major terrorist incident. And that's it for now from the news desk. I'm Benita Levine in Tel Aviv. Stay tuned. Back in a bit.
We look into defense technology and strategic affairs. In this edition, Israel and the West Bank are in lockdown this week following strict health regulations imposed on both sides. We'll sit down with the IDF's former appointment to the Palestinian territories to hear his thoughts on what the future holds. We'll talk about the Second Amendment in the US and ask how the new reality affects gun sales. We'll check out an Israeli development aimed at treating patients from a safe distance using a smartphone. And with much of the workforce in Israel forced to work from home, does that leave businesses vulnerable to cyber?
Donald Trump has granted himself massive wartime powers to fight the coronavirus pandemic. The Defense Production Act is a Korean War-era law that allows the federal government to demand companies mass-produce emergency medical supplies, as well as energy, space, and defense manufacturing. The U.S. is facing a shortage of face masks, respirators, and ventilators. Now, Trump invoked a second emergency power, allowing the United States to turn aside all migrants at the border. The U.S. Navy has joined efforts to contain the outbreak. It's deploying 2 of its massive hospital ships to treat stricken communities on the east and west coast of the United States. The USNS Comfort has arrived in New York, while the USNS Mercy will sail to California as soon as routine maintenance is done. The ships were designed to help the Navy triage mass casualty events during wartime. Each one has a standing crew of 71 and can support 1,200 doctors. They each support 12 operating rooms, 1,000 hospital beds, and multiple testing labs. Now, the ships are not meant to be used for quarantine cases. They're not designed to prevent viral spread. Instead, they're going to treat normal trauma cases and help reduce the load on standard hospitals. Also, a brewing crisis in the Middle East. Iraq's new economic instability could result in a regional upset. A two-front strike on oil exports has left them on the verge of financial collapse. Now, oil prices were already suffering from market shocks related to the coronavirus pandemic, but then Saudi Arabia flooded the market with cheap crude to pressure Russia into signing a price-fixing agreement with them. 90% of Iraq's budget is funded by oil revenue, which is now less than 60% of what it was when Iraq calculated its yearly expenditures, leaving them shortchanged to finance their military operations against Iranian-backed terror groups in the region. Meanwhile, Italy's military is jumping in to keep morale high under total lockdown. With tens of thousands of cases and hundreds of deaths every single day, Italy is one of the hardest hit coronavirus outbreaks in the world. So air shows are the answer. Italy has deployed the Air Force to perform dramatic sky painting shows to keep 60 million people entertained while they're confined to their homes. Paratroopers drop out of the air to unfurl massive Italian flags. After more than a week in quarantine, Italians are looking for any form of escapism. F-35 assembly plants outside the United States are reopening after brief coronavirus-related shutdowns. Leonardo's final assembly and checkout plant in Cameri, Italy, closed Monday and Tuesday for deep cleaning and sanitation. The assembly plant went back to business on Wednesday.